Hello, today we'll be looking at punctuation, especially brackets and dashes, which will come up in your unit tests, and you may be asked questions about it during the checkpoint test too. So, what's the difference between brackets and parentheses? Well, the difference between brackets and parentheses can be a bit confusing. At the top here, you can see these square ones, and those are actually called brackets. And the ones on the right, these are properly called parentheses. But actually, people don't usually do that. If they want to be clear, they'd say the ones on the left are square brackets, and the ones on the right are round brackets because they're a bit curved. But people still keep using the word brackets for both of them. And people generally don't use the word parenthesis because it's a bit difficult to say. So both of them they call brackets. And even textbooks that you look at will call both of these brackets. Okay, now we kind of know what they are. Let's get started. So brackets. Well, actually, I mean parentheses, the roundish ones, not the square ones. Now, these brackets are used to separate additional information from the rest of the sentence. Now, you should be making a study card about what are brackets, okay? And this is the reason that you will be asked, what are the brackets being used for? It is for this reason, to add additional information, just extra information into the sentence. Here's an example. We have this, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, written in the 1990s, is still very popular today. So the extra information is written in the 1990s. And this sentence too, the girl, aged 12, won the Children's Award for swimming. Extra information is the girl's age. Now, each of these sentences will still make sense without the additional information in brackets. So when you try to use brackets in your writing, if you take away the information in brackets, your sentence has to still make sense. Okay? If it doesn't, then you haven't done it right, and you'll have to change your sentence. But let's look at this. The first one, J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone is still very popular today. That's a sentence. But if we want to add the extra information that it was written in the 1990s, we can. And the same for the second sentence. The girl won the Children's Award for swimming. It's a sentence. If we want to add additional information about her age, we can. Now, let's use the extra information we have here and then write a sentence using brackets, putting one piece of information in brackets. Now we have the first sentence. Charlie and the Chocolate Factory was published in 1964. We want to add this extra information, Roald Dahl, the writer. What we have to do, though, is to think. We cannot just write Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, open brackets, Roald Dahl, close brackets, was published in 1964. Because people will say, what's a Roald Dahl? If they've never heard of him. So we have to think, do we need to add any extra little words so that this information in the brackets will make sense? Well, Roald Dahl was the writer. So how about this? Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, open brackets, written by Roald Dahl, close brackets, was published in 1964. Now it makes complete sense, even with this additional information. Look at the next sentence. The bus took the children to the school sports day event. We want to add that the bus was bright yellow. Now, we cannot just say the bus, open brackets, bright yellow, close brackets, took the children. People might be able to guess that it's the bus that's bright yellow, but I think we need to add some words. The bus, which was bright yellow, close brackets, took the children to the school sports day event. So we need to add which was before bright yellow. Okay. Now, I want you to write some sentences where brackets are used to separate additional information from the sentence. Well, let's do the first one together anyway. We want to add a date to a sentence. Okay? Now, this is really important. Brackets are not used. They are never used to introduce shocking or surprising information because we use dashes for introducing shocking or surprising information. We are only adding some extra normal boring information. So if we want to have a sentence, and then we're going to add in our date. So let's write a normal sentence first. My birthday is my favorite day. Now, that's our sentence, but I want to add the extra information of a date. So, my birthday. When is my birthday? So in this part of the sentence here, we would open a bracket, my birthday, which is in November, yeah, or I could say which is on November the 9th, close brackets, is my favorite day. Okay, and that's how I would add a date. Now I want you to write two sentences. One, you write a normal sentence and it mentions somebody. But then you're going to add the extra information in brackets about that person's age. Then you'll do the second sentence where you write about a person. And then you're going to add some extra detail. It could be in brackets what their name is, or what their job is, or where they come from. Okay? Now, when you write your sentences, I want you to write your sentences on the Google Doc. And the Google Doc is attached to this assignment in the Google Classroom where you found the link for this video. Please submit it today because then I can mark it. The only people who should be submitting it later than 3 o'clock today are people who are not here today. That's why we have this rule of you've got 3 days to do it. Really, this is, if you can't write a couple of sentences during this hour, then you're in serious trouble, yeah? You should definitely be able to write 2 sentences pretty quickly, okay? So try and submit it today, okay? You can pause the video here if you need this information, but open up the Google Doc and write your sentences. Okay, you should have written your sentences on the Google Doc. There's still more to write on that Google Doc. Let's go and see what that is. Dashes. Dashes are used to bring information to the attention of the reader. Now, this is different to brackets. Brackets are only to add extra data, just some extra fact. But we use dashes when it is something shocking, surprising, or we want the reader to notice this extra piece of information. So it's really to grab the reader's attention. That's why we use dashes. Okay? what actually is the dash? Well, if you look at the end of the sentence, we have this little line. It's called a hyphen. Okay, so if you need to join two words together, we use a hyphen. But a dash, if you're using the keyboard, you'd press the hyphen key twice, hyphen, hyphen, and carry on typing, and it would change into a long thing like this, a dash. Obviously, if you're handwriting it, you just make a longer line. Okay? Now, how do we use it? The boy, dash, who was only 10 years old, dash, won first prize. Now, in this sentence, it must be surprising that he was only 10 years old and he won first prize. Perhaps it was a competition where everybody expected, a grown-up, an adult to win. And it's really amazing that a boy so young could win first prize. So they are using the dashes to bring this piece of information to the reader's attention. Okay? Here's another sentence. I hope, really hope, that you will come along tonight. So this writer wants to emphasize that they really, really, really hope they can do it. Here's another one. Then the worst eruption hit Pompeii, dash, death, exclamation mark. Now, each of these sentences will also make sense without the information in between the dashes or after the dash, just like with brackets. So when you use dashes, always check, does your sentence make sense without this extra surprising information? Look at this. The boy won first prize. It's a sentence, it's fine. But if we want to emphasize he was only 10 years old, then we use two dashes. Dash to begin and a dash to start, to finish. And the same with the second sentence. We can say, I hope that you will come along tonight. Okay, I hope you'll come along tonight. But this person wants to emphasize to the reader, I really, really hope, please come. And the same with the last one. We could just have a fact, then the worst eruption hit Pompeii. But they want to finish it in a shocking, dramatic way. So here, they've got one dash and just one more word. Then the worst eruption hit Pompeii. Death. Now this is interesting. Brackets only come in twos. You always have one to begin and one to end. Okay? The dashes, you can start with one, add your surprising information, and then close it, and then finish your sentence. Or you can just have one at the end of the sentence, like this. Okay? So, we're going to change some sentences so that some additional information is not just added to the sentence, like with brackets, but we want this information brought to the reader's attention. Dashes help to bring it to the reader's attention. So, first sentence is, my mother cooked the dinner last night. And we want to add this extra information that when she cooked, it wasn't just something simple. It was a 5-course meal. The thing is, we have to decide where in the sentence does it make sense. Do we put it here, in this place? This is the first place we could put it. Do we put it here, the second place, after cooking? Or do we put it in the third place, after the word dinner? Well, if we say, my mother, a 5-course meal, cooked the dinner last night, well, that means that your mother is a 5-course meal. Now, unless you're a cannibal and you cooked your mother, I don't think it's going to go in position number 1. Okay. How about this? My mother cooked a 5-course meal the dinner last night. Because we have the words the dinner after a 5-course meal, it doesn't sound right. My mother cooked a 5-course meal the dinner last night. No. So I don't think it would sound good in position 2. Now, a 5-course meal is describing what the dinner was. The dinner was a 5-course meal. So position 3 would be best. My mother cooked the dinner, dash, a 5-course meal, dash, last night. This is probably the best place to put it. Okay? The second example, the old man pushed open the large oak door. And we want to add with trembling hands. Now, actually, here's position 1. Here's position 2. And we could even put it at the end, position 3. Let's try the first one. The old man, with trembling hands, pushed open the large oak door. Well, it is the man who has the trembling hands. So position number 1 could work. Let's try another one. The old man pushed open, dash, with trembling hands, dash, the large oak door. That's possible too. If it's in a story, we could emphasize that when he opened the door, he felt scared, so his hands were trembling. What about at the very end? Number 3. The old man pushed open the large oak door, dash, with trembling hands. That one actually also works. It is describing the old man pushing open the large oak door and adding his hands were trembling. This one is a bit more flexible. Now, you use dashes in your own sentences so that the information below is included. Okay? We want to add 50 kilograms a day to a sentence. So it is shocking, surprising, or very important. Let's do this together. 50 kilograms a day. What could be 50 kilograms a day? How about an animal eats a lot? Okay. Here is a sentence. The Kodiak bear, which is one of the biggest bears in the world, there. The Kodiak bear eats a lot of food. Now we need to add 50 kilograms a day. Where would be the best place to put it? The Kodiak bear dash 50 kilograms a day? No. Could we put it after eats? The Kodiak bear eats dash 50 kilograms a day dash a lot of food. It could go there, but I think this one will actually sound best at the very end of the sentence. The Kodiak bear eats a lot of food, dash 50 kilograms a day, full stop. Okay, that's a sentence that makes sense by itself, but we've added a surprising fact that it eats 50 kilograms of food a day. Now, I want you now to make a sentence that makes sense and then add the word carefully somewhere to that sentence. So it's probably an instruction telling someone to do something, but it's important that you bring to the reader's attention that they do this thing very carefully. Maybe it's something where they're using a knife or a pair of scissors. Then write another sentence where the surprising information is it's someone who was only 7 years old. Now, if it's the girl dash only 7 years old dash won the children's competition, well, it's not surprising that a 7-year-old child won a child's competition. That's not surprising. But if it's another situation that she won a competition and usually only adults could win it, then that would be surprising. And then write a third sentence, one of your own sentences, and just put something in dashes. Okay? But it has to be something surprising. Don't just use a normal fact. Okay? It has to be something surprising or something that you would really wish to bring to the reader's attention. Do this, write these sentences on the Google Doc. Okay, so pause this video now and then play it again as soon as you've written those 3 sentences. Okay, so you should have written your 3 sentences on the Google Doc. Now, what's next? In your workbook, okay? In your workbook, on page 7, we have these sentences. All you have to do is insert the correct punctuation marks in each sentence. Now, yes, you can use brackets. Yes, you can use dashes. But look, none of these sentences have a punctuation mark at the end, so they will need either a full stop, an exclamation mark, or if it's a question, they'll need a question mark. But there could be other punctuation as well. For example, quotation marks. Okay, so please, on the Google Docs form, again, copy these sentences, type them into the Google Doc, make sure you have perfect punctuation, okay? If you write it and you use dashes correctly or brackets correctly, but you didn't put a full stop, then it is wrong, okay? If you miss a capital letter, then your sentence is wrong, okay? So type it out very carefully. It's a punctuation sort of exercise, so punctuation is the most important thing. Okay, once you've done that, put it into the Google Doc, then submit the Google Doc, submit it so I can mark it. Like I say, all of these 3 exercises shouldn't take long. It's only a few sentences and copying these sentences with good punctuation. You can easily do this. If you did this in class, you would do it within 1 lesson. Okay, so you should be able to submit this very soon. Please try and get it in today. Okay, thanks. See you tomorrow.